Let's go here, and it's time to talk about rezero. And this episode was just so fun and so dreary, kind of ominous at the same time, and I'm really liking Shaula more and more. She's such a great bundle of energy, and the way she switches back and forth, and she says some of the most insane things in such a comedic, nonchalant way. Like, wait, what? You have to do a double take. Even the characters are so... She's awesome. I love her so much. Then we also have a new character in this episode here. Now, let's get into this one. It picks up instantly from last week after they first got into this library. I have to say, it's probably the most suspicious library. The more we find out, the more insane it gets. And I like how throughout the episode, every character says, even Subaru himself, the one who made this library, this place, everything here, was kind of an asshole. And I'm paraphrasing a bit. And everything is alluding to him being this Flugel. Now, I don't know if it's him, but what I really liked was at the start that Subaru actually said this is unfair. Who would have made this test that only somebody like him would know the answers, which is very true and brings just so many questions with the constellations, the answers, the isekai transported here, something with time travel, just so many things, just insane questions that we have here with the series. And even more after the first floor that we have here with the books being revealed. They're kind of like the books of the dead. I like them trying to figure out with this, slowly not being readable, the text moving, and then Subaru was the one that was able to first see one. And I didn't expect this one, but also made me like the witches even more in the world a lot here. Like I said, when we had season 2, when Subaru met all of the witches, the tea party there with all of them, he actually reads one of the books and he sees this small girl or woman. You can't even call her a woman, she was a small girl. And we see kind of like the origin story of the natural disaster that Typhoon is. We see her backstory, her life, and I really like how it was portrayed here. She was a innocent kid, and her father was an executioner, and slowly that life kind of affected her, seeing her father do this. That doesn't mean that life or her father created the way she is. I think she was like that from the start, but that was kind of like the flipping point or something that helped her drive her over the edge or triggered her, whatever she is or how it works with the witches here, because she kind of sees the world, not kind of, she directly sees the world in just black and white. There's only good and evil, and if you have any guilt, you're fucked, regardless of how big or how small it is, or circumstances or situations and things like that. She's just a natural disaster. You can't really argue with somebody like that here. And we see her a bit scared when she broke something, even to herself. She puts the same standards on herself. She broke something in the house. She instantly thought that her father is gonna come after her and execute her, trying to cover her neck there, thinking she's gonna get decapitated. But her father comes in and just says, it's good, you confessed your crime, your sin here, and you apologize there. And that kind of flipped a switch into her, and this is when she triggered her power or whatever it is here. And at another execution in town, she starts asking everybody, have you done something bad here? And we see them cracking, kind of like the same we saw with Subaru at the tea party, and even to her father. And she had basically zero reaction. She felt like a Terminator there. Instantly, she found how she views the world, black and white, everything else be damned. So you can't really reason with somebody like that. And having this form like a small kid, having that obliviousness, innocent to them, makes it even more ominous. Because if it was like a villain doing this, like a 40 years or something like that, do it to them, they lost their ways, or something bad, tragic happened in their past, made them this way to view everybody. They're not worth it, kill everybody, everybody's a bad person. You can kind of see that from their perspective, how they got along this point. But somebody like a kid doing this to you, viewing the world in this way, makes it even more dangerous and ominous, at least for me here. So seeing that small part into Typhoon was awesome here. And also I do hope we get to find out more about the other witches, because all of them were cool, and all of them being natural disasters. I'm curious with with that one. And also Subaru being able to view these books here, and when he returned, he was super confused here, and experiencing the memories vicariously here, retracing the past. And we get to see that Julius was also able to do the same thing. We don't see what exactly he saw, but apparently this General Balroy Temeglyph, I'm sorry if I'm butchering names here, an old general from Wallachia Empire, he fought him. Julius survived. Everybody that you witness here, they're dead. So this makes these books of the dead here. So you can kind of read them if you somehow interacted with those persons and you know them here. And the more dead people you know, the more books you can read, basically. So this makes kind of like the archive of the present, past, the world here. Imagine how many books are there, but also for them to actually find the information they need would be insane here. And after this was a great conversation between Subaru and Meili there, and I have to say, throughout the entire episode, all of the banter, the shenanigans with Meili, with Shaula, with Emilia also, were just all great character moments in the entire episode here. But thanks to this conversation, we find out a bit about Meili. Apparently she's been an assassin for like 5-6 years. She kind of got into it thanks to her mother, quotation marks mother, Elsa there, and revealing that she was an orphan, abandoned here. The beasts raised her. But I also liked the question here, what she said also. Her blessing, was it good or was it bad? Because apparently her parents abandoned her because thanks to her divine protection there to talk with beasts and things like that. Was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Depending how you look at things. Because if your parents are like that, willing to abandon their kids regardless of what circumstances they have, I don't really think you should have those kinds of parents. And what I liked here, she had zero fucks to give about her parents when Subaru asked her, would you be interested? Would you read the books of your parents? I could even help you here. Nope, I don't care. They don't matter. Zero value. I actually do respect that, because if they didn't care about you, they saw no value in you, why would you waste any energy, time and anything on them? Just focus on yourself. Yeah, and I like how much banter and teasing she does this to Subaru. Even asking him, hey, how do these books grow in number? What if you died right now? Would the book just appear? That was great there. But we also have them being overwhelmed by the books, and then they decide to take the next exam here for the next level. They have to find a staircase, if they could, still commenting how much of a jerk whoever created this here. And Anastasia slowly figuring out there's a lot more to Shaula. She's kind of hiding something, the rules surrounding protecting this tower here. And Shaula was awesome, and the voice actor does such an amazing job. And of course the dialogue, the writing is great here. Just the way she's talking, saying some of the most insane things, we're laughing at you. Saying, yeah, one of the rules is if you leave without telling me, no more thing killing you. Yeah, sure, why not? And apparently she's under a contract, bound to these rules regardless of what promises she made. Remember the promise she made to Subaru when he asked her, and I said that's a flag, and we see here a bit of that. But she's not a spirit, so why do she's so bound to these contracts here? And then the small moment when Emilia made him, hey Subaru, you do know that promises are important, right? He's very whipped. That was great. That's such a cute moment. I loved that. But then we find out a bit more about the rules. The challengers can't go outside. If you pass all of the exam, everything's okay. If you break any of the rules, she kind of turns into a killing machine here. More banter, which I loved quite a lot. Can't leave before the exams. Don't violate the rules of the exam. Don't disrespect the archive. Don't damage the tower here. Some hidden rules also for the exams. What exactly does that mean? So there's a lot more to discover surrounding this place. And I do agree, whoever created this place is definitely a jerk there. And also more questions about Shaula. What exactly is she? a lot of questions how exactly she got into this situation. Flugel, Subaru, the tower, everything. We have a ton of questions here. But hey, as long as we get more Shaula, I'm happy for this one. The banter there. As long as no rules are broken, my body belongs to me, telling to herself there, Shaula. But no, belongs to my master. It's like, nope, I don't need that. Get away from me. Even your love, nope, I don't need to know. I was laughing so much in this episode here. But I like Subaru saying, yeah, but what if we just defeat Shaula? We can leave, right? Master is too kind to do this. And she got itchy from lying. So yeah, I'm curious what's going to happen. Are we actually gonna have the group versus Shaula? Are they gonna be able to pass the test here? What exactly is going to happen with them? A lot of the things here, and I like how Emilia was down to figure out where the stairway was. It was in a place where they've been before. It was hidden from their perception before this, so something like a scumbag we do, and we know Subaru is definitely a scumbag here. That's both a praise and him being a scumbag in general. But here we have Subaru instantly grabbing Betty. They run up the stairs. Betty screaming stuff here, but they end up in a blank room again. There's this sword in a stone, kind of Arthurian legend, like even more things similar to the real world that Subaru should be one of the only ones that know about this, kind of like the constellations and things like that. I don't know if Subaru is actually Flugger or is it somebody else that is from the same world as him. Do we have some time travel here? Did he somehow create the tower in the past? Is he... I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something weird going on here. And of course he's able to take it out, and I really like the voice they're doing here. Just hearing that voice, "Fool who has attained the heavenly sword, earn his pardon." Here that was the voice that kept repeating, and I really like how it sounded quite a lot. Then we have this new character showing up with an eye patch, and he seems to be a giant asshole, and we see Shaula's reaction to him. She passes out. Apparently he's also hangover. Just makes me believe this guy has to be Reed, right? The first Astrea kind of gives up those vibes here. Swords, Shaula's reactions to that. I would be surprised if it's not him, and the request he has, and the banter also. Just hot chick, brat, follower, or however that went was great. But Julius instantly steps up to the challenge being get me to move one step here, and him saying, "I'm nobody, I don't have any name, I'm just a stick swinger." So yeah, more alluding to swords and being very strong with that. But I don't know if they're gonna be able to defeat him, considering how much build up it was to his power. It might not be defeating him in a physical power, might be having him to move in a different way besides just defeating him with sword. Like, if it's actually read the first Sword Saint, I can't really see Julius defeating him right now. Would be interesting if he did it. I'm curious how, but I have a feeling it might be some scummy way, thanks to Subaru, to go with this. But we're gonna have to wait and see. But man, this episode made me laugh so much. All of the character dynamics, discussions, everything, but also the ominous vibe that you keep getting from these past few episodes, just building up more and more. You seem and just keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. We had that brutal episode there, Insanity, with them losing their minds, getting eaten alive and everything, and these tests, it seems like they're gonna get crazier and crazier the more they move forward. So yeah, rezero this season so far is fantastic, and I'm loving it here. And Shaula is such a great addition to the cast of the characters here. Melee is also great having in the group here. Emilia, the banter with her Subaru. They're just great. I'm loving the series so much. I'm having so much fun. But I'm also curious from you guys what you guys think of the series season so far, this episode. Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying rezero. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.